How's it going, guys, and welcome back to Driving Empire. In this video we'll be taking a look at the new brand, which includes 5 new cars. So if you go to the cars list and type in Volvo, yes, Volvo is our new brand. Now I know people were expecting something a lot crazier, but Volvo is still a really big brand, and they're also very well known, so this is actually a pretty good update. Now the first car we'll be taking a look at is going to be the 480 ES. Let's give it a couple of revs. Of course, here is the interior, very classic. This is a 80s car. And of course, you take a look at the engine. So here is the engine right here. It's a 1.7 liter inline 4 making 120 horsepower, which is a lot for this car. And I actually didn't know this car even existed, which is kind of like why I like driving Empire, because sometimes they do add cars that I didn't even know even existed. And of course, this car has pop-ups. Yeah, this is a very happy Volvo. A very cute one as well. It's kind of reminds me of the Honda Civic, the hatchback. It's basically like Volvo's like counter to the Civic, I guess. But yeah, this thing, it does look a lot better though. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of looks better. Yeah, it's pretty fast, and all my cars are tuned, so this car is going well above 118 miles per hour. Yeah, it goes well above it because it is tuned. But yeah, let's move on to the next car. Oh, and before we move on to the next car, I actually have a cool fact about this car. So, you all know Lotus, the car brand. They actually helped tune the suspension and the chassis for this specific car, which is actually a really cool fact I just learned about. But let's move on to the next car, which is going to be the 2023 Volvo V60 Polestar Engineered. Now, this car is missing the exhaust, so I don't know where that is. And this is actually one of my favorite. This is actually one of my favorite Volvos. This is a really good like A to B car, or just a daily driver in general. I do hope they kind of add the exhaust for it, because without the exhaust, it kind of looks weird. But yeah, here's the interior of it. Very nice, pretty luxurious actually. And it's not a giant screen on the dash, which is good. And of course, you got that engine inside of there. So this car has a 2-liter turbo inline 4 plus an electric motor, making this car a PHEV, meaning it's power and electricity. So basically, it's a hybrid. Yeah, technically, it's a hybrid, and it makes 455 horsepower. And this is a pretty fast car as well. This thing moves, and of course, you see some revs. Yeah, I really do need them to add the exhaust, because this looks um questionable. I prefer it with the exhaust. It just looks better with the exhaust. Yeah, this car is quick. Top speed is about 115 miles per hour. It is a wagon. Wagons like this are really built for speed, although they have quite a bit of power. But yeah, you can probably tune this thing, and this thing is quick. It accelerates 0 to 60 pretty fast too. But anyways, let's move on to the next car. Now the next car is going to be a 2024 Volvo EX40. And this car was actually originally supposed to be called the XC40 Recharge, but they actually changed it to EX because I think it's just more simpler. EX. It's not, you don't have to say CX40 Recharge. You can just say EX40. And this is actually one of my I would actually buy this EV because it's a compact SUV and it's not built for speed. It's more built for comfort and A to B cars. And it actually looks really nice in the interior. Not a giant screen in the middle, which is good. Still got some physical buttons, which people love. I also love it. It's a lot more simpler, and it's pretty quick. It's not the fastest thing in the game, but it's pretty quick. I'm pretty sure this car is supposed to have like these lights would open. I think. I'm not sure if it does that in this game, but I don't know. I don't know if it's this Volvo though. I think it's a different Volvo, but the lights here will like open up and stuff. But now let's move on to the next car, which is going to be the 1985 Volvo 240 Turbo. Very long name. And this is like a box car. And you know what's so sad about this car? The rivals, like the racing rivals for this car, the rivals that this raced against, they called this car a flying brick. because it not only was it quick, it's a very boxy car, so they kind of just called it the brake. I mean, it was still fast, but it does look like a brake. But I kind of like I kind of like the boxy old Volvo boxy like designs. I think they're kind of cool. They kind of really fit the touring. They really fit the touring like race car vibe. And of course, you can't forget the interior. It's a very old race car interior for sure. And of course, the engine inside of this. So powering this car right here is a 2.1 liter B21 ET turbocharged inline 4 making 340 horsepower. Of course, it's tuned to make that because it is a touring racing car. And it sounds pretty good. Let's get some revs. Oh, it's got side pipes. I didn't even notice that. That's cool. But let's move on to the final car, which is probably the coolest car. Now, this is a track pass car. The 240 is a collection car, which makes sense. Luckily, it does. But the 240 sounds insane. Here's the interior, a lot of carbon fiber. This is a much newer car, of course. And of course, powering this puppy is going to be the 2 liter naturally aspirated 5 cylinder. Yep, 5 cylinders, 290 horsepower, and this car is front wheel drive. That is, it is actually really loud. And yeah, the reason it's really loud is actually they called this engine the Screaming 5 cylinder. Because like unlike 4 cylinder rivals in the British Touring Car Championship, Volvo actually used a tuned 5 cylinder engine that revved up to 8,500 RPM. That's a lot, and that means this car has crazy acceleration. So although it has not as much horsepower as the box car, this car does scream to 8.5k RPM, which is a lot, giving this car like pretty crazy acceleration. And of course, you see, you might think this is like a bug. This is actually not a bug. So let me just explain to you guys why some race cars are like this. So basically, when you camber your cars, when race cars have camber, this increases the surface area of the tire because if the tire presses down, it kind of spreads or like yeah, the tire would spread, and so more of it touches the tarmac. And when more of the tire touches the tarmac, it gives the car more grip, allowing it to turn better and just have better traction. And this is by far one of the coolest cars. Like Volvo, they may not make race like hypercars or supercars, but they have a lot of pretty cool track cars. I hope we get some more. There are quite a few track cars out there. And of course, there's two other Volvos. There's the wagon, I think it's called the T5R or the T50R. I want the sedan and the wagon of that thing. That's one of the coolest. That's more of an iconic Volvo. They could have added those. But anyways, that's really all the Volvos in this update. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.